never a bad thing. And here we go, we've taken shorts, changed up the chart colours, taken shorts, sweep of London highs, clean shift in market structure. This is a clean trade to have taken. I went and back tested, I remember back testing this trade as well. The bias was bearish, completely bearish. And you can see that ES had inversed the fair value gap, but all ES was doing was going to take the high. That's a bearish S&T, so that's a bearish confluence. And there you go, we're now fully break even on this trade. You can see that we actually hit a 1 to 2, but this is where I was going for points of liquidity. I wasn't actually going for straight 1 to 2s, but 1 to 2s are the way, let it go. Alright, so tap back into this fair value gap. I believe that we're so close to the draw of London lows. We've got a fair value gap right there. This has to have a good feeling that this is going to react off that gap and go to TP. You can see how close it got to TP, didn't close out. I don't care. I don't care, guys. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it isn't, it isn't. Break even. There we go, TP smashed. TP absolutely smashed. Alright, so let's see the next trade. Alright, PM macro, sweep of not London highs, sweep of the recent 15-minute internal high, clean shift in market structure, and you can see we got that bullish order block on the left on the NQ higher up, and 3 minutes TP smashed. Oh my, that was one of the cleanest trades I've ever taken, still to this day. So clean, so clean. In front of 2 students IRL as well. Alright, so looking for shorts off this gap, taking shorts towards the end of August. You can see I've got a little bit of a tan on, the face cam is looking better. Let's see what we get here. So price takes the first short-term low, trail above the next short-term high. 6 micros. Alright, so price takes the short-term low, trail stops above the high, so that's literally more than 50% of the risk already taken off, which is perfect. So let's see if price runs the break even or we get taken out for a trail stop. Probably hear my heater in the background. I'll turn that off, it's already making a lot of background noise. I didn't realise. Okay, this is a bit of a slow one. Okay, so I believe I went break even because ES took that break even low. Alright, here we go. So we're taking longs. We've got a, where is the mitigation or breaker? Where have we got it? Alright, we've got it on ES, perfect. We've got a shift in market structure, tap back on the fair value gap. We haven't taken any invalidation high, so this looks clean. Oh yeah, I can see it now on NQ as well. So price takes the first short-term high, trail stops, and then does ES take break even? I believe ES took break even. So we're now risk-free on this trade. Completely break even. So we shall see if we run to final TP or not. So I believe ES took final TP there. That was crazy. So it took final objective and then we closed out. I believe it did go all the way and hit final TP anyway. So it's good to see how the draw is correct. Alright, so we're looking for longs off of here. So there we go. Longs off that point. Price goes for that FEG lower down, that's why you need to be careful where you trail your stops. And once price takes that first short-term high, we'll then be trailing our stop to the next short-term low. Well, it looks like I've already trailed my stop, that's not correct. What are we doing, Ash? Alright, so price takes the first short-term high. I've then trailed it just below the fair value gap. Price takes 50% of the range, so I should be break even here. There we go, break even. Wow, this is running very clean. Apart from that absolutely crazy candle that went for a crazy stop hunt. Alright, so we haven't taken final TP yet. I'm waiting. We tap back into that bullish imbalance. Let's see if the candle flips and hits final TP. There we go, TP smashed. That's also another good reason to make sure that you set your limit just a few points below, so you don't get, edged like that. And then this is me breaking down the short I took on the 5th of September. So break even there, shorts off that bearish gap, and final TP hit. My recording actually messed up, so I couldn't even upload the reel or show you the live footage. You can see the execution live on that video, but it was just lagging so much. What's happening here? Why is it frozen? Oh, there we go, now it's moving. Alright, so we've taken shorts, this bearish gap, sweep with that 5 minute high, I've almost stops at the recent high, going for a 1 to 2 with 4 micros, I believe it's around the 25 point stop. So price then takes the first short term low on ES. I believe it did take on NQ as well. So draft stops above the high, NQ goes to retap back into that gap. It's not moving a lot now, but I believe that once we take that point of where it says trail stops, it will start to accelerate lower. So not beating the low, not beating the low. Price breaks the low, there we go. There we have it, break even, 50%. You can see how it reacts off that internal low. It's also a bullish order block, so we'd look for price to close below that, then it will turn it into a mitigation or a breaker. So it's still reacting off that point, it's looking kind of dangerous. That's why we go break even at these points. But you can see that price is constantly, when you've got a long trade like this, you just need to realize it's always going to sweep out recent highs, recent lows, recent highs, recent lows. It's just how it is. So there we go. Price takes out the recent low, it's likely that will probably come up and go out, take out that next short term high, which you'll see. So now trading my stops, 2 previous short-term highs. Price then sweeps that short-term high, so it shouldn't go to the next one. The first one is fine, but the recent one, it should go and sweep it and move lower, and that's exactly what's happened here. Very good reaction. Now I'm trading my stop a bit more aggressively, and final TP gets smashed. Beautiful trade, beautiful, textbook. Alright, here we go. Nice model, looking for shorts, taking shorts. Clean shift in both NQ and ES, fair value gap. Price takes break even. So I've basically gone risk free there. And then we get stopped out for the rest. Clean entry though, good reaction. I'm not quite sure why I want to come back higher again, but no problem. So break even there. Here we go. So we've taken shorts again. What macro is this? I think this is the lunch macro, but this trade does not look valid, and I'm going to tell you why. Because we've taken out so many short-term lows to the left, and when price is trickling down that much, it's very likely that this is, as it looks, it's just a straight liquidity sweep. And the fact that it's just a straight liquidity sweep, you can see how this reaction, it's actually set up for a long, so it's going to react off this bullish gap and then go take out my stop and likely go for the highs again. So once price has already gone this far down, you need to see a re-super buy side, some sort of 5 minute or 15 minute high, and there we go. Alright, so this is one of the biggest trades I've ever taken. 93 handles. You can see I've taken it live on the Express account. I've taken it on TradeAway, my live account at the time, but for some reason it wasn't working on TradingView, so I had to take it separate. So I wanted something on the screen, and you can see that we're now break even on this trade, and it's absolutely huge gains, 4 micros. And it's just running very smoothly. This is one of the cleanest trades till this day. I go over it with students sometimes, I already know. 18th of September, look in the first day of macro, you will find an absolute gem. And there we go, TP smashed. Lovely stuff. Easy. Alright, so lunch macro, we've got a bullish bias. This is where I started to implement the bias now. I believe it was the trade before this, that's where I started implementing it. Or maybe it was a couple of trades before, I think I've missed it. I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, bullish bias, sweeper minus sell side, inside the lunch macro, targeting, that's all-time highs guys. We're going long at all-time highs. And this is why this is the best model in the game. Doesn't matter if you're at all-time highs, all-time flipping lows, who cares, man? Well, although I don't think all-time lows would be a thing unless, you know, the economy goes to shit. but very clean trade, going for all-time highs, and I would go for more profit, but there's firstly that was a 1 to 2, secondly there's no more buy side levels above that, so your trade is basically built on hopes and dreams. And then PM session long, we've inversed that bearish order block to the left, so we've got an inverse order block paired with that fair value gap inside the PM session. We've got stops just below those fair value gaps, so let's see how price reacts to these points. So we go. So this is a mistake I used to make as well. I used to trail stops even though I was in drawdown, so you'd want to look to trail your stop above once price takes it. So there, right here, that's where you trail stops there. So that's correct. It's when it's in a profit. If you're in drawdown, it's not a valid point to actually trail your stop. I'm using my bum's camera as well. I think my actual camera must have died or something. There we go, price takes trail stops again, and then we take break even. Actually, break even should be higher up. So what I do now is good W trade management anyway. It goes to take out the low, but you drag the fib from the high to the low, and then 0.5% of that range. That's where your break even would be if you have no short-term lows to actually trail to. Alright, so it looks like we've gone short again. There you can see we've got a bearish bias, 4 hour bearish, 1 hour bearish, 15, 5 bearish. The only thing that's bullish is the daily. So we've entered short. We haven't taken any points to actually trail our stop to yet. So there we go, trail stops, taking off 50% of the risk already. Let's see if we get break even. So that is exactly why we don't go break even yet, because price has not reacted off of those gaps. And it's basically a model inside of the model. We've got a shift inverse order block paired with a gap. It's crazy. So now we're break even. You can see that short-term low is 50%. This was crazy edge. I believe we were waiting for an entry inside a macro. So if I took it off first presented, this trade could have been pretty cooked. But as of now, it's not looking too bad. Look at that. I believe I was actually, price went to like 7.5 and I had my stop literally 0.25 points above that. ES takes final objective, close out for these on TP. Alright, here we go. So looking for shorts here, we can see that first, where I got break even, that would have been my invalidation low. It's very clear that that is the point of sell side, and it's also on the 1 minute time frame a bullish order block. But we can see here we've entered short or first presented. Price goes up, reacts off that tiny 1 minute bearish gap. And we're looking for that 1 to 2. This looks like more than a 1 to 2. This is probably like a 1 to 3. And it looks like I only have the 4 hour bearish there, so it must be that all of the time frames are neutral, and the only thing that's actually moving is the 4 hour, which is bearish. So that's pretty chill. Alright, so price is now taken out that point of break even on NQ. We've taken it on ES now, I believe. So there we go, risk free on this trade. If ES takes that point at final objective, so I've written it down on ES, if it takes that point, I'll close my position out fully, and there we are, fully out of that position. Easy stuff. Alright, so taking longs here. So the reason for this entry, and I didn't take it beforehand, is because the bias was actually neutral, or it may have been bearish. So what we saw was that price inverse the 5, and then if it tapped back into that fair value gap, price would then turn back to bullish, giving us a bullish bias, with the 4 hour being bullish, 5 minute being bullish, 15 minute only being bearish, and the 1 hour and the 4 hour, the 1 hour and the daily being neutral. But price would have already taken the invalidation high, so this would have technically been a sweeper buy side. So this trade would not be something I'd want to take today, but it was still a W trade, and very good, very well thought out. I had a buy limit there, price literally jumped into that point, so I managed to get a really good fill. And you can see ES is already about to take final objective. This is what happened a lot during this winning streak. We'd end up taking final objective very early and missing out on a lot of gains. Look at that, price literally booms up. Yeah, this was like a 12 trade winning streak, guys. This was absolutely insane. Not 12 trade, like 10 trades, something like that. But But yeah, PM session longs, price takes the first short-term high. We literally got the entry right on the end of the PM session, and now we're break even, risk free on this trade. Let's see if we run up to final objective or not. So we're keeping an eye on ES, make sure ES doesn't take final. Price is running smoothly to the upside. Comes down, ES taps that bullish fair value gap, NQ doesn't. And there we have it, TV smashed. Beautiful stuff. Alright, so we've taken longs here. Price takes that point of trail stops. Got that sweeper sell side, minor liquidity. Clean shifted market structure on both NQ and ES. No invalidation highs have been swept. So this is clean. This looks very clean. We've got stops just below that gap. Now this is my mistake. Look, I'm looking for break even way too soon. It should be 50% of the way up. So yes, this is a good place to trade my stops. So yeah, I haven't got break even yet, that's good. Still haven't tapped that 50% point yet, but I've gone break even as of now anyway. We can see we've got final objective there on ES, already about to get hit. And this is again the issue. I think my TP placement, firstly I need to go for a straight 1 to 2. Secondly, I need to recognize that if it really isn't offering a good enough RR, yes, you should really close out, but there's nothing wrong with just simply trailing your stop to give price a chance to actually move higher. Because if ES is intending to go to those points, yes, we have a bearish SMT, but there is a very high chance as well that price does begin to go higher. And what you'll see in I believe it's a trade after this or a couple of trades after this, I then take the approach of, instead of closing out, I then just trail my stop, and you can see that we secure way more gains. Ended up being very beneficial. Someone in the Discord got paid out around maybe 3k USD from that trade. Let's see, so price then takes out the short-term low, taps back into that bullish fair value gap. This is what you'll get a lot with earlier months on as well. So this is coming into October, so the volatility should be getting better. And there you have it. Look, closed out just for that point because ES takes final. Big mistake. Well, not really a big mistake, you know, it's still green on the day, but you need to capitalize on your gains more, you know. That I'd rather just taking a break-even trade, to be honest. And you can take a look at how price literally goes all the way up to final TP, where I originally had my limits at. And there you have it. But again, you know, you just gotta do what makes sense, I guess. Why has most of this trade been missed out? What the hell? Literally, okay. So I don't know if it's gonna replay this trade again or not. Why is it already jumped ahead so far? Oh, maybe it's cause from like previously watching through the trade, it's like jumped ahead. But you can see that we swept a point of minor sell side. You can see we got a shift on market structure on both NQ and ES, and then we took that first presented gap, we ran a 25-point stop, and you can see that massive push in the middle that you can see with price. So ES took final at what price is that? 6.7 something 5, I don't know. And I trailed my stop just below those. So just before I move the stop now, that's where I had it, and then price jumped up higher. And that's what happens when you review your trades, guys. You review what is happening and how to adapt. You need to learn to adapt, because it happened the last 2-3 times, and I was like, okay, if this happens again, I'm going to give this a go and see if this works. Trial and error. And there we have it, stopped out in a profit, lovely stuff. Alright, nice short inside of the first AM macro, already break even. Amazing, amazing reaction. This is the volatility we want coming into the winter months, start of October. So now you can literally see we've got a model inside of the model, we've got a bearish bias. I believe price would have then tapped into some bullish imbalances, which would be the reason for this little consolidation point. But yeah, see if price stops that break even. It got very close to get very close to stopping this out, but that's why we go risk free, because the whole point is that, you know, you get to a certain point in price where it hasn't got to your final TP yet, but there's no reason to be losing this trade now, so it's risk free. That's what you want to do with trading, man. You want to let the trades play out in your probability, and if you get tapped out at break even, then it is what it is. It's not a losing trade. Best part about break even trade is there are no losing trades on it. Obviously it sucks, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Alright, we're starting to see price make a bit more of a move now. And monitoring ES, making sure if it takes final objective, we're out, and there we go, final objective hit, and we're out of that one. PM session short on Tuesday the 14th of October, and we've taken it off that first presented gap right there. I've got our trail stops and our break-even points laid out. So there we go, trading stops there, and I think ES actually took break-even, so that's why I'd be break-even in this trade right now. You can see we got bearish bias, fully bearish bias. Daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15, all bearish. So NQ did take break even, I believe ES did, so that'd be the reason for why I went risk free. Alright, so short again, beautiful unicorn model here with a sweep of minor buy side, reacting off those hard time frame imbalances. We have a 100% bearish bias, by the way. 5, 15, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, that's all bearish. So very confident in this setup. You can see we get a nice reaction of that bearish gap. See if price takes that first short term low, so we can trail stops to the next high. So there we go, ES took that point, NQ then also swept that point, so trail stops above the high. Lovely reaction off that candle, so break even at this point. And then final objective was a bit difficult to find on ES and NQ, just going straight for that 1 to 2. So you want to make sure that ES isn't taking a certain point and then it reverses, because obviously then it's a trade that you should have won, but then you make a mistake of not actually closing out properly. So waiting for ES to take that point. ES is hesitant. NQ sweeps that next short term low. Trailed my stop just above that high. And does ES take it? Oh, okay, so I've just closed out there anyway. Yeah, ES takes final objective, so we've closed out fully there. Alright, next trade. So taking shorts again. A lot of shorts recently in these last few months, from September to October, a lot of short positions. I'm taking shorts off that first presented gap. We've got a bullish order block that gets inverse to the left. We've got break even at that 50% range, which is also a short term low. So price takes trail stops, so taking off with around 50% of our risk. 50% risk taken off, and now we're break even because ES takes that short term low. So we'll see if price stops at that break even or we get final TP. So this is why after this point I went for just 1 to 2 RRs. The reason why is because price ran for a 1 to 2 RR. So a very nice trade. It ran for around 54, 60 points. And so because on this account here I was basically calling it out of a trailing drawdown, so it was a fresh take profit trader account, and there you go, first TP hit. So if I get stopped at break even, I'm not actually losing drawdown. And there, where that wick goes on that blue candle before where it starts to reverse, that's where it went for a 1 to 2, and that's where TP should have got hit. So this is now the PM session on that day, I believe, and we've taken shorts here. Clean setup. We've got a bearish bias of the 5, the 15, and the 4 hours bearish, the 1 hour, and the 1 hour being bearish, the daily is actually bearish as well. So price takes that first short term low, then trail stops above the gap. Is it above the gap or above the high? I don't know where I put it. Well, you see the volume was so dead, I thought, oh yeah, better go for the opposing draw. And this was before I used to switch my contract size. Now what I would do is I change my contract size accordingly to the volatility. So wherever the stop placement needs to go, I measure that out, and then I always risk the same dollar amount. So the recent high, I always risk around $400 per trade on an account. So that's around $2,000 across all my accounts. And this trade would have then ran for a 1 to 2. So it just goes to show that there you have it. That would have been my TP hit off that candle. But I didn't have it a 1 to 2. I had it literally like a 1 to 8. Alright, so change your chart colors. Looking for longs off this point of minus sell side. ES taps the gap, so we're in for longs. Very clean trade. Inverse of that bearish order block. That gets inversed, so go an inverse order block, pair to that fair value gap. Clean sweep of that short term low, so a nice unicorn model. So waiting to see what price does off this point. We shall see. Now I'm going based off my NQ Futures playlist. I don't think I added a lot of the losses into this playlist, so I've only just realised that now. So if you actually go back in between these dates, you'll find them all there. I upload all the losses, you'll see them. But anyway, literally the only losing month I've had since when was it, around June, the only losing month has been November. So all winning months apart from that. Closing out December and a nice profit as well as we finish the new year. And there we go, break even trade. This is now a long inside of the second AM macro, sweep of minus sell side. Price was trading at all-time highs for so long, so it was so hard to get a trade in, because obviously the bias is just going to be neutral because there's no imbalances for price to react off of to actually give us a bias. So the fact that price then came down lower, this was after FOMC, it then the news event dumped and actually tapped into those imbalances. That's why you'll see the daily time frame, the 4 hour, the 1 hour and the 15 is all bullish. And with reversal trading, it's very often that you'll find the 5 minute will be opposed to the direction you're going in. And you can see price now running very smoothly. This is a very, very algorithmic trade. And should be hitting the final TP any moment now. There we have it, TP smashed. Alright, so this is then a PM session long. PM session, so our second AM macro, this is inside the PM macro. Very clean shift in market structure. Bearish order block inverse. It's basically the exact same setup we just saw. Looks pretty much identical. And there we go, trail stops taken. Haven't quite taken that point of break even just yet. Very clean reaction. And there we go, break even on that trade. ES gets close to final objective. I believe it did take final objective and I realised, and there you go. Final TP smashed, close out there for a nice 1 to 2 RR. Alright, so shorts inside of the PM macro again. This is on the 14th of November. We've got a clean sweep of minus buy side. We've got a bearish S&T at the highs. And then we have a clean shift in market structure with a bullish order block that gets inversed. You can see how we then take that point of break even. And for some reason, look at that draw. That drawn liquidity looks so clean. But for some reason, you know, price just does not want to move any lower. It takes that short-term low again and then runs higher. It's very unfortunate. That was a very clean trade. I thought it was going to run all the way. It's running very smoothly. But unfortunately not, and that's just part of the game. Simply part of the game, guys. You cannot force the results. You need to let them play out in your favour to give it a chance. Alright, so looking for longs again, sweep of minus sell side, bullish S&T at the lows between NQ and ES. Clean shift in market structure, bearish order block. Simple stuff. How many times am I going to say this over and over again? Because I stick to my model, and that's a break-even trade right there. Inside the PM session again, you can see I've now halved my position size because we've gone for around I don't even know how many points that stop is, 60 point stop. Price takes out the first high, so trading stops there. We've now basically taken off the majority of the risk on this trade. You can see that in order block level inverse, pair with a gap, very, very clean. And then price is about to hit news, FOMC meeting minutes. I thought I'd hold through it and see what result we get, because the news could potentially push it higher, but we're break even anyway, so it's not a problem. It's not a problem. If it gets stopped out, it gets stopped out, and there you go. Price stops us out. On another day, that could have gone to final TP. You never know. Alright, so this is the PM macro. Change my chart colors to what they are now. This is probably my favorite colors I've ever used so far, and they'll probably remain like this for a very long time. I'm very, very happy with them. Clean short inside of the PM, S&T at the highs. PM session is a very slept on macro, guys. Just because people say you should trade the New York AM doesn't mean you should disregard the London macro and the New York PM macro. They're very, very clean, and no matter what macro you trade over the course of the year, if you trade this model correctly, you'll be profitable. So you're going to see this new approach in 2026. It's going to be absolutely disgusting. But there we go. Trail stocks taken, break even taken. We're now risk free on this trade. I believe in November we took around 6 or 7 break even trades. It was absolutely ridiculous. So I was like, there's no way the probabilities are saying that this trade is also a break even trade. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's crazy work. But you'll see that it runs very algorithmically. All it's doing is taking out the lows, tapping back into those bearish fair value gaps, and then moving lower again, so you can see a bearish gap's formed. Price will then look to move higher, tap back into that gap, and it should see an acceleration lower towards final TP from this point. But yeah, just you know, don't want to big myself up, but this is literal proof that what traders out there can sit through all of their trades over the course of the year. Well, these aren't all of my trades. I obviously wouldn't be able to record all of them because I was in college. I was in school for a bit of the time, but there you go, final TP smashed. Then this is the next trade I took inside of the second day of macro. I believe I actually took a loss before this, but it was for literally like a very, very small loss because I trailed stocks above the high. So technically a break-even trade, but technically a loss. And you can see this runs all the way to final TP. What a beautiful trade, absolute banger. This is where we're starting to see PA really start to pick up. But yeah, as I was saying, you'll never see a lot of traders really show day in, day out the consistency and the transparency of the live trade. They'll break down their trades, but they'll never have live footage or, you know, have basically the guts. Like a lot of these quote unquote mentors who have their courses and will sell you a course, sell you a strategy, but they'll not actually trade it in front of you. That's because, one, they have no balls, they're fucking pussies, mate, and secondly, they either just cannot perform consistently and make more from their mentorship than they do from actual payouts, or, you know, but basically back to number one, they haven't got the guts to do it, or they're scared of being wrong. Whereas with me, if I make a mistake, you know, I can accept that I make a mistake, but I'll tell you now, you can ask the people in my Discord, join the free Telegram and ask, how many times do I make a mistake? Practically never. Never. The only little mistakes I'll maybe make is if I don't trail my stop correctly here and there, or like I'll accidentally miss a trade, or not accidentally, just be like here and there, lack of focus, depending on the situation I'm in. But that has happened maybe once over the last 4 months. So yeah, again, this is another long that we've taken. Tap off the ES gap, half position size. So I usually use 8 micros, but I'm now using 4 half my position size, so I can have that same stop placement, same dollar amount when I break even here, trailing stops accordingly. So I've got stops and a profit now, so either way. Now you're probably thinking price is running up very much higher, but so why am I not closing out? The reason I'm not closing out is because this is not hit a 1 to 2 RR. Yes, I know some people are like, oh, you shouldn't be RR focused, but in terms of the probabilities, guys, if you are taking 1-to-1s, less than a 1 to 2, you're ruining your probabilities. So there we go, we've got stops and a profit there, but you're ruining your probability. And hold on, I need to mute this so you can hear me. Alright, I just had to quickly mute that real quick, but yeah, you're actually ruining your RR and the probability of your actual trades playing out. I think, wait 1 sec. I just realised my mic is not even connected to my actual microphone. It's connected to this little thingy, this little like dongle on top of the this old camera I used to have. That is why it's kind of muffly, but Anyway, back to the trades. So we've taken the first short-term high, trailed stops below the low. This is as I've traded back into the London macro again, so I've implemented the London macro. As I said, no matter what macro you trade, you will be profitable over the course of the year if you trade it consistently and properly. And implementing all those macros, more positions equals more results equals more profitability. It's as simple as that, guys. It's simple maths. Simple maths. And yeah, so we can see here that London is playing out so far very nicely. We've now taken that point of break even, 50% of that short-term high, so we're now risk-free on this trade. I think I'm waiting just for the candle to break through that break-even point so I can go risk-free. There we go, break even there. Candle breaks through, so very clearly break even. You also see how much I improve the quality of the videos, like from the start to now, like the face cam, the footage, the way that I've like break my trades down, the analysis. You'll just see everything is so much more precise, and how I adapt to the strategy. That's one of the main reasons I started uploading trading videos, is so I could review my own trades in real time instead of taking a screenshot and kind of being in self-denial sometimes. The one thing you can't fake is like actual footage being recorded, like it's there. So when I take a losing trade, I watch it back. Yes, it's a smack in the face of you watching yourself lose, but it's the real shit. It's the real deal. It's the real sort of medicine reality check that you need, instead of being like, oh, I wouldn't take that trade next time, or trying to basically cope with why. And so I think a problem a lot of people do is I did this as well. I was trying to find faults in my losing trades, but if there's really nothing wrong with your losing trade, then there's nothing you can really do. You just got to move on to the next. I had a student once who was he was complaining that he's tired of writing his journal, followed the plan, just another losing trade. That's exactly what you should be writing in your journal. That is how you know your trading's going well. If there's zero faults inside of your model, your mechanism, and like how you're overall approaching price. Because if you're putting every single time, should have done this, should have done that, you'll never basically have satisfaction with the trades you're taking if you're losing. And then you're basically not reviewing on your winning trades as well, and that's not good. You need to review your winning trades as much as you'd review your losing trades, because yes, it may be a losing trade, you're going to have winning trades which aren't actually proper trades. They're not valid trades, they're not a trade you should have taken. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, I was like, there's no way price is about to run down to break even. But what you'll find with London is that I have a lot of experience trading London, and when I traded Forex I was trading a lot of London session. What you will find is that London will move in basically one direction, and it will put in that point of London highs or that point of London lows. You'll have one or the other. So especially someone who has a lot of experience trading the New York session, you always find you'll have those London highs and London lows. So you basically want to trade that directional trend going towards that point. And this trade right here, I basically knew that price was going to trade higher, but you may know, but you don't actually really 100% know. So if you stayed in that trade and then you made less than what you would have made if you actually stuck to your trade management rules, then yeah, that's not good. So it's best to just stay consistent. Don't get greedy. You don't need the full move. All you need is that 1 to 2 RR. Well, in my opinion, with this model, is definitely increased my win rate. I think my win rate this month in December has definitely been around the 70% mark, 70-80% mark. A lot of break evens as well, but yeah, it could have been way higher. Definitely could have been way higher. Maybe it'll be a bit less in the 60s, but I need to actually calculate it up. But it's definitely been a really good month. You guys go through my channel, you will see how many wins we've had this month, and there should have been more. I'm talking at least 4 more wins this month. But you know, that's how I then learn. Even though I'm at this point of where I'm way ahead of where I was a year ago, of course I'm working even harder because I want to get to that next level.
I want to get there so bad. This is taking a while, man. Look at this bozo. He's got the camera out. Waiting for this final TP to get. Look at me getting vexed. It's not hitting final TP. Alright, so I've just gone back and I've sped up the next few clips because I realised I didn't even speed them up. It's just on 2x from when I was recording it off my channel. Ah, here we go. Hitting final TP now. Finally. Bang. There we go. TP smashed. Alright, so sweeper minus sell side. Sweeper minus sell side. Bullish S&T at the lows. Inverse of that bearish order block. And tap back on that fair value gap. And beautiful reaction. Yes, we do take the first short-term high, but price then doesn't actually have any point to properly trail to. And then you can see 0.5, that's where 50% of the range is between my TP and entry point, so that's where I've gone break even. So risk-free on this trade, and now waiting for that point to get taken. So price taps back in that bullish imbalance. From seeing these trades hundreds of millions and trillions of times, I know that this is going to continue higher, so no problem waiting for this to push. It did literally edge my limit, and I was like, yeah, no way am I dealing with that, mate. So out of that one. So lovely 2R right there. And this was another London macro long. So again, this is my mistake. I used 8 micros. I should have used 16 because the stop placement was like 15 points. So, you know, for a 30-point stop risking $400, that's 16 micros. So that was my mistake, very much my mistake. Did I say $300? I think I meant $400. I don't even know what I said. But yeah, I was in this trade then for an hour. Where that point of break even was, that's where I should have hit TP. That was my 1 to 2 RR. So it should have been a way bigger trade. And then this was another trade on that day. So this is the new approach. I'm basically trading until I either take 2 losses or we hit the PM session. Because why should you stop after 1 loss? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. On the Friday just gone, today being the 28th of December, the 27th of December was, no, the 26th of December, it was absolutely ridiculous. There was a win every single macro. That is a 12-hour day. That is 12 losing trades you have to take to lose that day again, to go back to where you were. That is fucking ridiculous. But anyway, this trade, we took it off the ES tap shorts. We did technically take a 5 or 50 minute high of a sweeper buy side, but it took out those short term highs and it was a very clean short to have taken. You could have taken it off that bearish order block on NQ as well, so that was clean. So the last trade of the year, I mean, I'm trading on Monday, Tuesday, actually maybe not Tuesday, I don't know when New Year's Day is, but I'm be trading obviously New Year's Day. But the 29th and the 30th, I believe I am trading. So, depending on not if we hit any trades there or take any trades then, this is the last trade, and that was on Friday just gone, so the 26th. And this was the day that there was a trade every macro. I actually wasn't meant to be trading, but I was like, bruv, there was a 6 trade in London macro, the first day of macro. The day is clearly very algorithmic, so I was like, alright, I'll monitor the second day of macro, see what we get. And this trade was so clean, I had to take it. Just look at this, clean sweeper minor buy side, bearish S&T at the highs, clean shift in market structure, bullish order block that gets inversed, beautiful. But yeah, what a year, guys, what a year it's been. I'm so thankful to have you guys with me and to have your support when, you know, going through this journey. And it's been amazing. Those of you who have been there right from the start, right from the start, I'm talking, if you scroll far enough down my channel, guys, the amount of, I have nearly 1,000 videos on my channel, right? A lot of them are probably gaming videos, but most of them are, I think, trading. And you'll find where I first started my Road to Funded series, where I just started learning ICT, the journey has been absolutely ridiculous. And if you've been from there, or any point even, but especially from there, then thank you, honestly, thank you so much. And we're nearly at 2,000 subscribers, let's keep on pushing. I really want to get this channel and, you know, my presence growing, because I feel like I have true transparency in the space. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful or you found any enjoyment out of it, give it a little share, or, you know, just a like, a sub, whatever, or a comment just to say you made it to the end of the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you do want to watch me trade live each day, then you can find that in the link in the description. You can either join the WAP through there, or you can contact me on Instagram, the link will be there as well, or the app for my Instagram will be there, or you can contact me via email at ash10.management@gmail.com. You can contact me there if you do want to get inside the one-to-one mentorship, and that will also include live trading. But if you do just want live trading straight, then you can just join up through the shop in the description, or you can contact me and I can get you straight added through there and we can sort it externally. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and if you have enjoyed, I've already said this like 5 million times. Alright, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you guys for watching. Love you all. Safe.